there are a lot of things that have been happening, but I think what happened on Saturday, all of you know, there was the opening of the WHO Center, and a lot of things were said. And again, I just want to read that letter. I don't want to talk about it. I want to read it. This letter was addressed to me as Vice Chancellor, and the title was Surrender of Title Deeds for Kenyatta University Land, LR 11026/2. Then it reads, I refer to the Cabinet meeting held on 12th May 2022, during which the Cabinet approved allocation of land to Ministry of Health, Strategic Institutions, and the Kenyatta University Hospital. As a follow-up, and to effect this decision, you are requested to surrender title deed for LR 11026/2 to enable the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning carry out the acquisition as directed by the Cabinet. It is expected that you surrender the title deed by close of business on Tuesday, 5th July 2020. Yours sincerely, Joseph K. Kenywa. So this letter was addressed to me as Professor Wainaina, and that is what it is said. So what did I do? I consulted the Chairman of Council, and immediately he called a meeting the next day to discuss this letter. So at 2, council members met to discuss this letter, and as we were actually discussing the letter, at around 2:30, I received another letter. And the letter had so many people who were copied, and the letter was saying, this is again to Professor Wainaina, Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University. Dear Professor Wainaina, invitation to a meeting on acquisition of land from Kenyatta University, LR 11026/2, grant 33404. Those are the numbers of the title of KU land. Then it says, I refer to a Cabinet meeting held on 12th May 2022, during which the Cabinet approved allocation of land to Ministry of Health, Strategic Institutions, and the Kenyatta University Hospital. This is to invite you for a meeting to discuss the acquisition of Kenyatta University land for settlement of Kamai squatters, Kenyatta University Hospital, and Ministry of Health Strategic Institutions. The meeting will be held on Wednesday, 6th July 2022 from 11:30. Please attend in person. Yours sincerely, Joseph K. Kenywa, Head of Public Service. Of course, All about 17 people were copied. We were discussing my letter. Then I was now forced to prepare for a meeting the next day. So I attended the meeting, and the issue of ceding land of KU was actually discussed, and I was told to discuss. And I told the meeting that the issue is not really a vice chancellor's issue. This is a council matter, and therefore, whatever I say, it will not have weight, because I actually have nothing to do property for KU. KU property actually belongs to council, and that is known. So, after the deliberations, then we were told we will have another meeting where council will be invited. So council was to be invited by Mr. Kenyatta for a meeting, and the suggested date for the meeting was supposed to be today at 2. Now, again, the letter was addressed to me to tell council about the meeting. So again, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to read that letter so that you can follow. These are 3 letters within a span of 2 days. So again, this letter is addressed to me as Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University. Dear Professor Wainaina, and the title is The Planning of Kenyatta University Land, that is title LR number 11026, stroke grant 33404. And it reads, reference is made to the consultative meeting convened on 6th July 2022 on the subject above. As noted therein, the Cabinet in its meeting held on the 12th May 2022 resolved to approve the allocation of land to strategic interventions under the Ministry of Health. The decision was premised not only on the fact that Kenyatta University is holding large trunks of unutilized land, but more strategically because the planned interventions have a nexus to Kenyatta University's academic and research program as to invariably create a synergic relationship to the benefit of the university as a whole. I think I want to repeat that paragraph. As noted therein, the Cabinet in its meeting held on 12 May 2022 resolved to approve the allocation of land to strategic interventions under the Ministry of Health. The decision was premised not only on the fact that Kenyatta University is holding large tracts of unutilized land, but more strategically because the planned interventions have a nexus to Kenyatta University's academic and research program as to invariably create a synergic relationship to the benefit of the Kenyatta as a whole. Accordingly, the Council of Kenyatta University is required to avail the parcel of land under title LR 11026/2 for purposes of planning and excision in line with the Section 69 of the Physical Planning and Land Use Act as follows, and in line with the procedure outlined here under. So this is what Council is being asked to do. A, 30 acres to the World Health Organization. B, 10 acres to the African Center for Disease Control and Prevention. C, 180 acres to Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral, and Research Hospital. D, 190 acres to facilitate the resolution of the Kamai settlement scheme. Now, Section 18(2) of the Charter for Kenyatta University requires the Council of the University to administer the property and funds of the University in a manner and for the purposes which shall promote the interests of the University, but the Council shall not charge or dispose of immovable property of the University except in accordance with the procedures laid down by the Government of Kenya. Accordingly, and following the Cabinet directive, the University Council is to follow the procedures as itemized here under to facilitate the replanning thereof. So, this is what Council is being asked to do. 1, submit letter of authority and or consent from Kenyatta University as the title holder of LR 11026/2, grant 33404 to enable Ministry of Land officials to enter the land and carry out the physical planning exercise. 2, provide a written agreement for subdividing the subject land parcel into the following subplots. Provide a written agreement for subdividing the subject land parcel into the following subplots. The first subplot was World Health Organization to be allocated 30 acres. B, African Center for Disease Control, 10 acres. C, Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral, and Research Hospital, 108 acres. D, Ministry of Land and Physical Planning, 190 acres for the Kamai squatters. 3, surrender the existing title for LR 11026/2 to the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning for replanning. The National Land Commission shall then prepare the surrender titles based on the subdivision as carried out by the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning. 4, submit a revised master plan to factor in the excision of land as outlined herein. 5, designate a liaison officer for purposes of engagement with the Ministry of Lands, National Commission, and the Ministry of Health. In view of the foregoing, pursuant to the Cabinet Directive and further pursuant to Section 7(1) of the State Corporation Act, Kenyatta University, through its council, is directed to facilitate the requisite resolution to surrender title of LR 11026/2 for replanning, given the urgency of the securing diplomatic and financial support for these interventions. The council is to meet and make the requisite resolution not later than Monday, 11 July 2022. That is yesterday. With the assurance of the foregoing, we have scheduled a consultative meeting on Tuesday, 12th July 2022 at 2 p.m. at the 5th floor boardroom, Harambee House, to confirm the status of actions and agree on the next steps. Ensure the attendance of your council members for the meeting. So there was a meeting which was supposed to be held this time, but I was called from Kenya's office, and I was told it is postponed indefinitely. Members, that is actually the background to what happened on Saturday. Council has actually resisted ceding KU land. We have been able to go to Kenya's office as council for Kamai land, and council said it does not have the capacity to cede land. Then we were called in the Ministry of Education by our CS, and we were told we had to cede land to the hospital because Cabinet is meeting and the decision has been made. Again, we went as council and we were not convinced by our CS. We were told to go back and write. We wrote, we went back, and we told the CS that council, first of all, does not have the capacity. Council have the capacity to preserve, but not to cede land. That is what. Furthermore, council said the land that the KU has is already planned for. And actually, we documented, we attached the strategic plan, which indicated all the development, some of them that have stalled. We never received any, response after that letter. So, the next thing is now the letter which was directed to me to actually surrender the title, me as VC. And when council met, they wrote on my behalf. They wrote to the head of the public service and told him the VC does not have the capacity to actually surrender the title, nor does council have the mandate. So that letter was taken to State House at 6:50. Remember, I was told to take the title by 5 o'clock, but we were not able to do that. And therefore, council pronounced itself that it is not possible. So, what we are saying here is that council has actually said it does not have the mandate. The VC has said, I don't have the mandate, but I want you to know, probably this is the last time I'll be talking to you as a VC. I understand that a new council is being formed. Yes. So I thought I needed to tell you whatever is going to happen is because I have refused to cede land of Keju. Thank you for listening to me. I think I have finished.